Okay, now we will start off, of course, by going through the questions that are in your assignment. I know some of you have done your homework or rather assignment on your student's account. So we'll go through the questions first, and then later on, towards the end, we will then look at compo writing. Okay. Now, first part, which is your vocabulary close, MCQs. Okay, let's get started. I think there's only one new student. Okay, by now I think I will not waste too much time on the house rules because after all, I think what's more important is to prepare you for your final exams. Yeah. So simple rules like turn on your video if you can, mute your microphone. Okay, so for those of you who have not turned on your video, please do so. Wilbur is asking me what happened to the rest because I think you've noticed that today there are many students missing. Okay, I think part of the reason is because it's the September holidays, and I think some of them think that, it's the holiday, so there's no lesson. But actually there is. Okay, so I'm expecting like 15 of you, but there are only 5 of you. Okay, but it's okay. Let's just move on first. All right, now, okay. So we have here, okay, any volunteers would like to read? Oh, Priya is coming in. Let me just admit her for a while. Hold on. Priya. Elizabeth is also here, right? Elizabeth. Do I have an Elizabeth here? Amelia, Elizabeth, Cordelia. Oh, okay, that's Elliot, right? That's your mom's name, I suppose. Okay, right. All right, any volunteers to read the first sentence? Only from here to here? Just this part here? Otherwise, I'll call someone. I think we'll always start off with in alphabetical order. So the first one I think will be Amelia then, because Amelia, your name starts with A. Okay, someone else is coming in. Hold on. Oh, Madaf. Amelia, can you read the first paragraph, please?
The marble gravestone stood out like eyesores in the verdant field.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so marble gravestones stood out like eyesores in the verdant field. Okay, so you would think that anything associated with field, probably because even if you do not know the meaning of the word verdant, okay, because it's a field, I think there are certain words that are associated with the field, right? So what would you think the field actually looks like? Okay, so the word verdant actually means, okay, I'm just gonna write the meaning here, okay? It basically means that it's really just very lush. Okay, by lush, it means it's just green with grass and other rich vegetation. Okay, so it's green with grass and also other rich vegetation, right? So that's that. Now, overhead, the sun shone in seeming content of the many sleeping souls it watched over. The sun shone in seeming content of the many sleeping souls it watched over. Okay, content. Oh, wait, someone is here. Hold on. Charlotte's right. I think I didn't get hold of one of your name. Madhav. I don't have a Madhav on my list. Can you let me know your name, please? Madhav, is it?
I sign up for a free class.
Oh, you're here to for trial. I see. Okay, great. Okay, I think I have it here. Right. Heidi and Jeremy, they're not here. Yeah, you're right. Okay, is it okay to Google the words? Yes, it's fine. Okay. Um, Okay, so for the first one, of course, because it's verdant, right? So verdant would mean that it's green, okay, and it's large. So I think the most suitable word for this would be green, isn't it? Right? Because azure actually means it's slightly orangey kind of color. Okay, so maybe I just want to write down the meaning of the word azure as well. Okay, so the word azure actually means orangey in color. No, wait, sorry, this one is blue. So it's deep blue or bright blue in color. This is bright blue in color, like a cloudless sky. So obviously, I think for the field, we don't usually associate it with blue color field, right? So I think the best would be green. But then again, there is another word that is possible because I mean, glowing is out of the question, right? Because glowing basically means that it must have a certain illuminating factor. So it's illuminating. So in this case, glowing is out. Dense actually can mean lush, but in this case, of course, in comparison with green, it's less suitable for this question. Okay, so verdant is actually green, so the answer is B. Verdant. Yeah, verdant field. Okay, now next question. Contempt. The sun shone in seeming contempt of the many sleeping souls it watched over. So what's the meaning of contempt? I think I see some of you typing in the chat. Let me have a look. Azure is the sky. Yes, Priya, you're right. Azure is usually associated with blue sky. Yeah, azure. Contempt. Okay, maybe I just write down the meaning and you decide which one is the best. Okay, so for vocabulary clues, sometimes if you do not understand the meaning of the word, you can actually find clues from the other words that are surrounding that particular word because that gives you the context and you might be able to predict roughly what it means. Okay, so the contempt is the feeling that a person or a thing is worthless or beneath consideration. So you feel like, something is just worthless. You have a little bit of a disrespect for that thing. Okay, because the sun, it seems like it's giving the sun some human qualities, right? It's as though the sun is looking at all these people sleeping and, looking at them in disdain. Okay, so disdain is the word that is synonymous with contempt. Okay, synonymous means it has similar meanings with contempt, right? Anger, grief, horror, they are not as close to disdain. Okay, basically disdain means that you have disregard for something. Okay, you have disregard for something probably because you do not really respect it. Okay, so you have disregard for something, yeah? All right. Okay, now next question. The rows of trees that segmented the cemetery. Oh no, we have not read the previous one. Let's finish first. Harry too keep watch, sitting on the soft grass and hugging his knees with his arms. Okay, so the rows of trees that segmented the cemetery would have offered ample shade. What does ample mean? What does the word ample mean? Okay, anybody? Ample means a lot. Yes, ample means plentiful. You're right. Okay, the word ample means there are plenty, a plenty. Okay, on the other hand, actually sparse means the opposite. Okay, when we say something is sparse, like, a sparse population or the income is sparse, it means that it's in short supply. Right? It's either in short supply or it's thinly scattered or dispersed. Like sparse vegetation. If I say there's a sparse vegetation, it means that there isn't that many crops on the land, okay, or on the field. Yeah. Minimal is keeping it very minimal. Wealthy, I think you know the meaning. right? So, but Harry did not long for shelter. He wanted to be here in the open, right next to the gravestone of his father. Did not long for shelter. So shelter in this context, actually all four can be shelter. Shielding, housing, refuge, residence can all be mean shelter. But which word is the most suitable for this? Anyone? Let me see. Okay, a lot of people said C. Any other answers for this? Yeah? Okay, so in this case, the best, yes, you are right. In fact, like I said, all four can actually mean shelter, but the best answer or the most suitable one would be refuge. You want to seek refuge. You want to seek shelter. Okay, housing and residence are quite similar. Basically, it means that, it's a place someone calls home, like someone can live in it. But in this case, because it's at a cemetery, so we don't associate it with housing or residence. Okay, so these are out. He just wanted to be here in the open, right next to the gravestone of his father. Okay. Eyeing the hairline cracks in the marble, Harry reached out to touch. Hairline cracks. Okay. Somebody said D. Anybody else? Elliot says D as well. Yeah. Okay, hairline is basically if you look at your hair, okay, you can take one strand of your hair. It's really thin, right? So in this case, it is thin. It's a thin line. Okay, the answer is D. Now, what is compress? Compress means you actually flatten something. I think you might have learned it in science before, right? Something can be compressed. So it's basically flattened by pressure. Okay, then lanky usually is a word that we use to describe people. Lanky means someone who is really, it's not just thin and lean, but it's really ungracefully thin and tall. Okay, ungracefully thin and tall. Yeah. Are we good? Any questions for vocabulary? Close passage? Everyone is okay? I have to go toilet. Yes, go ahead, please. Okay, so for vocabulary close, how do you approach it? Basically, it is a 5 marks component in your section A of your paper 2. 5 marks. Usually the words are very similar in meanings. So how do you determine whether is it suitable? Sometimes you really just have to revisit the text above, right? Read carefully again. Find clues, find some clues from the text. It's just like you're a detective, right? Find clues from the text that will tell you which one is most suitable in the context itself. Okay, so that's how you should be approaching your vocabulary for those MCQs, yeah? Okay. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Synthesis and transformation. Okay. Vincent is the most enthusiastic student in the entire class. Anyone would like to try? No one is more enthusiastic. No one is a more enthusiastic student than Vincent. Very good. Okay, so sometimes you do need to change. This is actually an article. Change it to a. Okay, so no one is a more from most, right? This is a superlative adjective. You change it to a comparative adjective.